Sorry, gotta sweep it around a little bit. There we go. This is for Capricorn. I can't quite believe this, but I did all the signs, you know, I go all the way through the zodiac, and I skipped you guys, and only a faithful, you know, viewer alerted me to this morning, and so I'm going to go back and do it for you guys, and it's all the more surprising to me because I'm a Capricorn rising, and I really often identify with that rising sign more than I do with my sun sign. You know, you just have to sort of see, I mean, it's a hit or miss, but I often look at my rising sign, Capricorn, and apologies. Oh, I just don't know. I don't know how that happened. You slipped through the cracks, so let's do it. Maybe there's some reason that the timing was off. I don't know. And the one thing I had as a prompt this morning, I was looking at, I think it was on Facebook. You know, once in a while they'll post old definitions of words that are obsolete, you know, that aren't really used now, and that are great, that should be still used, because they're just great words. And this one is "kadiwampo," which is translated to travel purposefully toward an as yet unknown destination, which I think describes kind of how I operate a lot of the time, purposefully into the unknown. But the image that they had to illustrate kadiwampo was the Fool. It showed the guy setting out on the journey with the hobo's little sack and the dog. I mean, it was the Fool card. It's archetypal Fool energy, which is called elemental air, and I'm not sure why. I always sort of see it as an Aries-like energy, that purposeful. But I love it that it's combined with, you know, we're going boldly into something we'll have to discover as we go. So it takes great trust, not only to go boldly, but to go boldly into, you know, right off the edge of the cliff. So somehow I think that's going to fit in with your reading, Capricorn, but maybe not. Let's see. Here, fit. Taurus energy, your fellow earth sign, can indicate the lesson, the teacher, the wisdom, sometimes from the outside in terms of a system of belief that, you know, sort of instructs you what to do. It's so dark in here. I'm going to try to just do this. Sorry. That's a little better. Oops. I think that's a little better. You know, it can be a set of beliefs, but it can also be the internal, you know, when you take instruction from your internal teacher, from some part of you that already knows the lesson and is trying to, if you tap into it, we'll tell you, we'll teach you. So perhaps like this Fool, this jumping into the unknown, would entail tapping into this aspect of your own psyche, the one who knows. Like, we'll school you somehow. We'll school you. That's just not going to work. Okay. What else for Capricorn? What else for Capricorn in March, please? Capricorn, talk to me. Okay. All right. Okay, we have Five of Swords, which is a strife and a struggle of some sort. In this depiction, she's getting out of it. He, she, they. They're breaking through that belief system, swords. Swords can be beliefs, understandings, communication. There's a breakthrough. Let's put it that way. There's a breakthrough. And it's a 5. And Hierophant, Wise One, it's called in this deck, is a 5. So maybe the teaching allows you a new way of thinking about things, a new system of beliefs that allows you to break out of some kind of constraint. That's mental energy, and it's by tapping into the deeper thing, the deeper knowing, not just a sort of cerebral thing you're trying to extricate yourself from, but see the keys in the heart space? This is the kind of unlowing, this is the kind of knowing that unlocks you from mental restriction. Hanged One. And yet another card that talks about, going, in this case, into sort of suspended animation to get the understanding. And if 5 of Swords speaks to the two-sided thing, which it does in the Rider-Waite tarot, it's clear that there's a victor and, people who've won, people who've been defeated. This is about seeing it from the other guy's perspective. Maybe that's the new way of thinking. Maybe that's the teaching. That ability to sort of flip the script and see it through the eyes of, your higher self. And look, this Buddha's here with the shut eyes, but the open heart. They're tiny little people making offerings. So in some ways, it's not just your higher self, it's the higher self, the teacher, the over eye. Okay, 2 things came out. Ace of Wands, the new beginning, the passionate new beginning, the sprout, the spark. Which would mean coming out of the suspension with a new purpose. Remember, to travel purposely toward an as yet unknown destination. And this is sort of the new inspired, forward-moving, this is the way energy. This is the way forward. Purposefully. And the destination may not be unknown in sword energy, in a sort of analytical way that may actually put you at cross purposes, make you kind of two minds about something. But tapping into this wise aspect of yourself to figure out, Hangman. What is my purpose? What is my direction? Wands are all about purpose, creativity, passion, direction. Which deck? Okay. I'm thinking about that. There's a wonderful, you can get it on YouTube, I'm sure, other listening, wherever you get your music. Stevie Wonder, his first, his debut song, and it was a smash, called Fingertips. And I mean, it's brilliant. You gotta watch the whole thing. It was, you know, I totally loved it the first time I heard it, which was when I was probably about 5. And it was like nothing I'd ever heard before. And one of the, they go through the whole song, and then he comes back for an encore, and he starts to do it again, spontaneously. And the people, the band that are backing him up, they're not his band, they're sort of a band for hire. And they're trying to catch up with what he's doing. And the piano guy is, you can hear him say, what key, what key? What key, what key? I don't know why I'm talking about that, but there it is. What key, what key? And I think what sparked that for me was this purposeful to travel towards something without quite knowing what it is yet. What key, what key? Which way do I go? Here it's game on, but, you know, and this is figuring it out. Capricorn, tell me about the wise one. This teaching, this wisdom, the keys, the over eye, the inner eye. 3 of Cups. A card of joy and celebration. A card of coming together with your people. It's a reunion. It's people in accord. This can also be a card of marriage. Or of, you know, that kind of blend. Cups energy, it's about connection and feelings, and they're good. I mean, those are good feelings. They're having a good old time. So the key, perhaps, to that inner wisdom is joy, is connecting with the people you love, and celebrating the fact that you're alive and you can feel. And feeling sometimes hurts, but boy, are we glad we can? Yeah. Queen of Cups. The one who feels. The one who kind of loves unconditionally. Completely at home in that connective Cups energy. And I think this is you. It's either you or somebody who loves you very much. And wants to connect. And wants to, you know, party down with you. She works well with feelings. Sometimes to the point of overgiving. Okay, 8 of Pentacles. Doing work to achieve something, to produce something in 3D, and, you know, to produce something tangible. And it comes under Hangman. So it isn't as if this suspension, I mean, it never is Hangman, but this sort of doubles down on the idea that it's not like being hung up in the sense of sort of refusing to face something, or refusing to take action, or dilly-dallying, or anything like that. It's a kind of work to come to an understanding and to see it through the other person's perspective. Because if this is a card of marriage, or just the blend of two, you know, this is an absolutely necessary component. You each have to see it from the other person's angle and come to an understanding. And is that work? Yeah. Does it take time and investment? Does it take time because you value something? You're willing to work on it? And, you know, going inside to get the wisdom, to access your own wisdom, or to accept the teaching that you know, life deals you, or that some actual person in your life is teaching you something. But I think it's you. I think it's you, Capricorn. In that grounded Taurus energy of I'm grounded in myself and in the sort of ground of being. In the ground of being. And that's this energy, Earth energy, Pentacles. So you know how to do this, Capricorn. And you do it. You're diligent. You're diligent. You're going to work until you get the understanding. Because a lot's at stake. This is about a very loving connection that may be a wider circle than just the one-on-one. You know, there's something about the circle of friends, which would be her milieu, her. That's how she operates. She doesn't just love one person one-pointedly. You know, it's a bigger embrace. It's a bigger embrace. What am I doing? I don't know what I just did. So let's, I don't remember what card was there. That was stupid. Well, let's just fill in the blank between the brainy thing you're trying to extricate yourself from and this new beginning that's creative and new and purposeful and... Oh my God, there it is again. Hierophant, the teacher, the inner knowing. So we're doubling down on that idea. And sometimes this speaks to tradition, the traditional way of thinking. I don't think the other expression here of wise one does, because to me that's like the internal higher power sort of that you touch base with. Whereas this is the big head of the hierarchy person. And if so, it may be that you're trying to extricate yourself from those beliefs, those sword energies that may be constraining you. There's another way to get at it, by going inside and unlocking this trap place for yourself. You know, don't be trapped in somebody else's system of thought. Be your own teacher, accept your own teaching. What even more kind of doubles down on that is it was paired with Tower. The taking down of the structure. So if there'd been a reliance on some kind of system that had rules that you had to sort of adhere to, well, you know, go blow is basically what this said. You know, that structure's coming down. It wasn't stable, because this is all about stability. You know, Taurus energy, grounded, stable energy, and this is like the destabilization. By means of, it can be of an understanding. A new perception that actually does flip the script in the way that Tower flips the script. And I was thinking about that this morning, and in this, yeah, they do have it. There's a crown up there. I don't know if you can see it, but right up here. And it's been blown off. And I was thinking, what, you know, we're just thinking about Tower card, as we do. And it's the upheaval, you know, that breaks this hierarchical, you know, who wears the crown. This is sort of revolution. you know? Who wears the crown? Well, it's not the external thing, I venture to say. And there's a complete change, I think, based on this new perspective that's caused a kind of suspension, perhaps while you were trapped, wanting to escape, trying to think your way out of this, out of this system of beliefs. And it's sort of like a circumstance, the universe steps in and takes it down, because it wasn't stable. It may have appeared stable, you know, we know all about this, this is the way you do it, this is the stable, proper way to proceed, and it's just blown to smithereens. And it's always a good thing, Tower. It really is. It like is a liberation. And what comes after it? The new thing. Your own inspirational thing. Aces often speak to the personal. So this is your sense of purpose, like we said in that initial quote, to travel purposefully toward an as yet unknown destination. Well, it's not. The destination is not a traditional system. You're bucking the system. You're bucking the system, rather forcefully, because you're somehow participating in this. You know, this would not fly. This doesn't work. This needs to come down. And remember I said something about escaping a place? Well, here it's a willingness to blow it up and jump out the window. Because it's been some belief that's trapped you. Some belief that's trapped you because it's too rigid. Okay, let's get one more on the trap, on the mental energy that you're extricating yourself from. And by means of like blowing something up, jumping out the window. Okay. Interesting. Lovers first. Major Arcana card of connection, of choice, of a bond. It's a card of Gemini. So it has to do with sword energy, with that and that's what we're clarifying, is the Five of Swords. You know, this is what separates us. A belief system that separates us. You believe this, I believe that, we're in a conflict of beliefs. Well, this is an air energy as well, but it's not a conflict of beliefs. It is a choice, but it's a choice to sort of meld, not lose yourself in somebody, but really come into a kind of blessed connection out of this, because Five of Swords is not connection, it's the opposite. It's to do with speech, thought, you know, it's not helping you in this instance. But you're exiting that to come into this. You know, and it might be the marriage. It's certainly, there's the melding, the two keys over the heart. So whatever wisdom you're drawing on now gets you out of this bad headspace into a choice to connect. And somebody's choosing to do that with you as well. You're not by yourself. And really not in the destruction of the tower either, because you're both exiting something that was restrictive. Right? You're both exiting something that was restrictive. And it may have been like a clash of beliefs. You know, it may have been just that, like a clash of belief systems, because somebody's was pretty rigid. Maybe both of yours was, but it's like on this deeper on this deeper knowing, deeper consideration, deeper way of knowing. That's not what you want. And the other card that came out with Lovers was Five of Cups. That's mourning a connection that you think is gone. That Three of Cups is spilled. Remember, we had the Three of Cups here. The card of coming together in celebration. This can be regret. You know, I've lost that connective energy. You know, I'm in mourning. I can't turn around. And if I did, there are Two of Cups right there. The connection. This is sort of the connection on the archetypal level. You know, it may be expressing in your everyday life, but it's from the wellspring of the twins, Gemini. You're sort of your other half. And this is kind of a regret. I've lost it. I've lost my other half. But this is the stronger energy. This is minor arcana. These are both minor arcana. But there's a coming together and a reconciliation. You're not going to be abiding in sort of energy. And this indicates a quick change, a quick turnaround. Like, boom, that belief system is just wiped out. So, fives indicate a need for change. You have Five of Swords, change of beliefs. Five of Cups, a change of this regret, of feeling like you've lost it. Because if you turned around, there it is. After the sadness, there it is. And that's what you're moving into. This is ahead for you, based on this new direction. So where you're heading to travel purposely toward an as yet unknown destination, you know, it's kind of like this is here to meet you. Is this joy and happiness and connection. So whatever you've lost in Tower truly did need to come down. You know, truly wasn't the place. You're not supposed to live in this protected place. You're not supposed to live in this protected place. This restrictive belief system. You know, it cuts you off from the things you love. But no, on the deepest level, on that archetypal level, you're in connection. You're already in connection. And it's kind of an inseparable connection. The system may be blown up. The hierarchy may be blown up. And but it's freeing you up for a purposeful new thing. Let me get one more on that, and then we can switch decks. Tell me about the new beginning, the new direction for Capricorn, please, in March. You know, March. It could be just it's Ace of Wands. It's just beginning. It's the green sprout. Ace of Wands clarified by Ace of Swords. So it's a new direction and a new way of thinking. It's the new belief. It's really, 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 sorry, I just got to get those out of the way. It's really not the old belief. It's not that. And this is something you know. You know a truth. And you're moving toward it. That's the direction. And it's sort of like you may not know the exact destination, but you can intuit the direction. And this is almost like the compass needle. the true north, the new way of thinking, the new way of feeling. Okay. This is a duplicate deck, which always is interesting when you're clarifying cards to sort of, sometimes there'll be repeats. Yeah, clear for me, clarify for me, give us the keys to this teaching. How do we unlock this wisdom? How do we unlock the door, which is basically to our inner sanctum, Oh, wowie. Well, first off, this is you right here, Capricorn, major arcana card for Capricorn, and this is a card of moving forward. The Six of Swords, from the troubling place, from the troubling ideas, from the troubling beliefs, into calmer waters. So again, I mean, we're sort of doubling down on that sense of move away from Five of Swords, from contentious, restricting mental energies. And here you go, Capricorn. And Capricorn, and I say this almost every time because, particularly in this instance, it speaks to this interpretation. Capricorn is the one who can work with and recognize what holds you back, what you need to let go of. You know, the beliefs you need to let go of because they're not getting you where you need to escape from them. They're not getting you where you want to go. Capricorn could identify them and will work hard at identifying them, and has the strength and the perseverance to tackle stuff that other people wouldn't. Where other people might give up, you don't give up. You know, you're grounded. You know what's healthy and what isn't. This is kind of your filter. So wherever you're going with purpose to the unknown destination, you know the difference between the trap, because that's another way to look at devil. What constrains you, what holds you back? What holds you back? And you've discovered a truth about that. A new way of thinking, a new way of being, Ace of Wands. A new direction out of the trap. And I like, too, and I just notice it because it's right here, these cards show the same image. Kind of the shadow side, and you know, the shadow side of the connection and the light side of the connection. Because here we have the angel, here we have the devil, here we have the two people looking out and onward, and he's touching his, you know, that sort of solar plexus place. They're leaving the garden, they're going out into the world to make their own way. To make their own way. You know, and they've been ousted, somehow literally ousted, from this traditional belief system. And that's a good thing. Because it had something to do with a constriction and a loss. Living in a loss. No, you're moving on. You're right in the process of moving on. At least, first and foremost, in your head, in what you believe, in you want to go to a calmer place. Five of Swords is not calm. So here you are in your own energy, hard-working Capricorn, buckling down. Moving into a peaceful place, sort of by way of your inner knowing. And I like, one of my other big reasons I like Capricorn is that it's exactly that. The devil, has been demonized because it's outside this kind of system. The Pope set up a system of rules. I mean, and Lucifer, the enlightened one, Lucifer, light, the enlightened one, was basically ejected from a system of beliefs because he shone too brightly. He was proud. He broke the rules. He broke the rules. He wouldn't defer. So that he was tossed out, and it was a good thing. This is the energy of, well, it's also paganism in the sense that it's Pan, it's the goat god. It's the energy of seeing God everywhere. It's not identifying it by your hat, but by its deepest, most rooted thing, the most grounded energy, where you freed yourself from something. Come on, Butterfingers here. You freed yourself from something. And you're kind of returning to a place where the wisdom and the teaching that God is everywhere. That divine thing is pantheistic. It's a belief system that sees God, or sees the divine everywhere. Not just in heaven, whatever heaven is. So it's coming to you've absorbed this deep lesson, and it's brought you into your own. I really like that, Capricorn. So yeah, let's clarify Hangman, the epiphany, the thing that you had to wait to understand. It changed your perspective. It's sort of wrapped up in this serpentine coil, like you're shedding a skin. Oh, that's way too many, I'm sorry. Okay. Queen of Swords. Another way of knowing something. You can go tap your inner wisdom. And this is kind of coming back into the world and discerning. As the devil does too. Discerning what's healthy, what's not healthy. What's holding you back. I mean, she's a boundary setter. She, he, they. It's just differs from the King of Swords in that she will set the boundary. That's her action. I speak the truth. I expect the truth. I don't accept unhealthy things. I'm moving away from that. I want to be in calmer waters, and I can identify, because that's what Queen of Swords does. I identify what's healthy and what's not, what I have to move on from, based on this kind of discerning knowledge, but also on this kind of knowledge from within. And moving away from what holds you back, from the attachment, from this place of constraint. I think I'm just saying it over and over again. But it's a wonderful, it's a coherent message. Okay? Moon energy. Something that's still not known with that Queen of Swords analytical or just cerebral energy. when you know it with your brain, what's true and what's not. This is like, it can be confusion. It can be something fearful because it's not as yet conscious. But I don't get that feeling here. And it's clarifying. This is a card of Pisces, I believe. And this is also, I think it's Scorpio? I'm not sure. But it's getting that, the epiphany, the understanding, based on this deep emotional dive. It's not through your head. It arrives there eventually. And it's sort of a mind blower and a liberator. And it upends who wears the crown. You know, that image of the crown being exploded off. The hierarchy is like... And this is sort of being comfortable with the emotions that are so deep, they're not quite conscious yet. But this is like the dawning understanding, because you've put yourself in a sort of state of suspended animation to say, I'm going to take the deep dive into feelings. And boy, man, are you ever. Queen of Cups, Three of Cups. And you're not alone. You're coming together. And there's a block. But it's a brain block. It's a sword block. It's at a crossroads. Because your brain is sort of saying, you know, I got to make a choice. How do I think my way through this? Well, you don't. You don't think your way through it. You don't. You know, because this is sort of a cold energy. This is an energy of analysis. And I'm waiting until I get that kind of answer from my brain. You don't want to block this joyful, heartfelt, celebratory energy with this being up in your head. You really don't. So that may be part of the part of what you're leaving behind. The sword energy that you want to let go, that you've already sort of moved on from, and moved on fast. That's that passionate, purposeful, forward energy. And maybe without knowing where you're going, because that fits with Knight of Wands, who is impulsive, and slightly like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Am I in? Am I out? Am I up? You know, it's like being able to turn, to redirect, to turn on a dime, and to find your purpose as you go. But starting it anyway, being inspired to start anyway. It could mean a message coming in too, to you. But it's inspired, forward-moving energy on Queen of Cups. It's kind of like a green light. You know, go ahead, love, feel it. You know, give and receive love. And it's passionate. I want to go where love is. It's coming. Ace of Swords again. Here's a repeat. It's on Eight of Pentacles, that work energy, that doing something over time with dedication. And who does that? You do. It's in your own energy, earth energy, the hard-working one who does shadow work too. You know, who's willing to shine the Lucifer light in the dark corners. to look at what holds us back. And it can also be any addictions, any obsessions, any obsessive adherence to a system of rules. He's the rebel. He's the rebel. So this is, willing to work to sort of hammer out. He's got hammer in hand to work it out, to work on, to hammer it out, this truth. I mean, he's actually in a forge, right? Well, here he's chiseling it out. Often there's a forge. But what he's working on, what he, she, they, you are working on, is this new belief, is this new truth. And it falls right below same card. Okay, we're gonna just see if we have any poppers from this stuff. Anything else you want to tell? Any other messages for Capricorn for March? It's looking good. It's looking loving. Okay. It's looking loving. 2 of Cups. You've got Lovers. You've got 2 of Cups. You've got 3 of Cups. And you may be at this crossroads. Do I let joy in? Well, I think you do. And you're coming face to face with somebody. You're exchanging your cups with somebody. Your feelings. And they're deep. You're both doing this. You're both doing the deep dive. Maybe after a suspension of some sort, while you extricated yourself, while you figured out what parts of this belief system do I want to leave behind because I'm going my own way. I'm leaving behind what I have to. I'm working hard on the things I need to work on. And principally what I'm working on is the truth there. The new truth. And you've got the epiphany based on this deep dive, and it lands you in this loving relationship, this heartfelt meeting of the hearts. 5 of Swords is not a meeting of the minds. And nothing in here except Queen of Swords suggests that, she's the truth seeker. Ace of Swords twice over, new beginning. And it liberates you, Tower, for this kind of connection. Capricorn. March. Brilliant. So, Kadiwampo. Travel purposefully toward an as yet unknown destination. What's your destination? Apparently, this connection. Strengthening this connection. Not through the old way. Through the new way. Purposefully, passionately. It's a discovery. And you're extricating yourself, And I think all I do is keep repeating it, and that's probably, I don't think there's a need for that. Because I think you get it, Ace of Swords. You've gotten the new beginning. You sort of grabbed, you've like who is it, Merlin? Who can pull the sword out of the stone? Who's the actual king? Well, it's the boy they all thought was the illegit, you know, and he's not. He's the once and future king, and so are you, Capricorn. And you've met your match.